HKL guys, Nexas here, and welcome back to Destiny 2. And in today's video, guys, we're here with more Guardian Games shenanigans to go over. And what we're going to be looking at today is going to be the return of course, the Title SMG. I've already gone over the Anus, which is the new weapon, the new trace rifle. But the Title has finally returned, of course, as a Guardian Game weapon with some brand new updated sorts of roles and everything. They always kind of do. But the Title itself this season actually, or this episode actually is kind of a bit of a banger in terms of the PvE side of things. PvP, we're not gonna say too much about it. PvP, I mean, it's okay, it just doesn't really have the roles. But PvE, you can kind of see on the screen all the roles you can get, which it makes an absolute freaking beast in the right with the right build and of course the right fragments. You've got things like, of course, the demoralize or the stabilizing rounds in that daddy trait column, and then in the left you of course have the repulsor brace. You do have this recycled energy, which is actually a really cool one as well, especially on an Arc Titan or something. You will get this from doing some Guardian Game events sort of stuff, either do the boss rush, which is actually really fun, or do, of course, Guardian Supremacy. And you can get random rolls of this. It's actually easy enough to farm out for, but as I said, we gotta showcase what this is like in both some PvP and PvE, even though PvP is not gonna be actually amazing, but we're gonna try it out anyway. So without further ado, let's go in with the Title SMG. Alrighty, so we are going to be on the fortress with the little Title look good. And this is what it's going to look like and everything. Pretty nice zoom and like a nice scope and whatnot, especially with the rangefinder. I'm going to have that extra little bit of zoom. And oh my god, he just got absolutely spammed by nades there. But obviously on Hunter and everything with the Grafalcons, if you have it and everything, it might be nice. And obviously with Void Hunter nowadays, and freaking Jotun shuts me down. But with the Radiance Dance Machines, or obviously going invis with the kill contract and everything, I can go invis consistently. And with the classy contender, which is on all these sorts of Guardian Games weapons, it means that when I'm getting kills, I'm getting some good dodge energy. I'm constantly recharging my dodge anyway with the Radiance Dance Machines, and you can actually kind of get the weapon going really consistently with the right build. That's a shotgun. We'll get the kill, but he freaking meleeed me. So it could actually be really nice in this sort of build, like a Hunter build and everything. Obviously, there's just betas with the Radiance Dance Machines. They're kind of insane, and yeah, there's a lot of different things you can use. But as I said, that this is it's still pretty nice to kind of go in with. You can absolutely rail with it, and if you hit your heads with this sort of weapon, I will say you will do so much freaking work. But the thing with the 720s or these aggressive frames is that there is a ton of other ones you can use, buddy, with the freaking bow. Please stop. There's the kill contract, but there's just other SMGs in the game that you can use. I'm not saying in the energy slot, but like you've got the Immortals multi-max. You've got some absolute bangers in that top slot. So really hard to warrant using this PvP, and especially because the rolls don't really blend too well into PvP. I mean, you got some rolls, but for the most part, I mean, these aren't exactly the best rolls. I mean, I have a rangefinder on this. That's probably the best in that slot. But as I said, with a good Hunter build and everything, because it is a void weapon, I can get the invis going pretty consistently and stuff. And I said, it's actually really solid on the Hunter. I think that's kind of where it's built for. That's a Jotun. What the hell was that? I went from a Jotun shot into a shield bash instantly. What? He was charging that crap up. Gonna be muchacho here though, buddy. We got the aim assist, or that freaking aerialist effectiveness with Radiance Dance Machine, so we can jump and shoot. So freaking nice. As I said, it's a decent ass SMG. I'm not gonna lie and say, or sit there and say that's ass, but it just really suffers that I didn't get like a ton more rolls. I thought they were all lower. Oh my god, I got so many dodges left. Ah, buddy, no! How does this guy keep? I'm dying like 4 or 5 times from getting fisted. This keeps on happening to me. I honestly do think this got some like better rolls, like a couple more rolls that would have just been. Oh, I don't know why I ran through that, but if we got a couple more rolls, it honestly would have just been so much sweeter. I think it would have just went in so much better in the old PvP scenario. But yeah, with the rolls it currently has, I can't warrant you saying, oh, you're going to use this over other SMGs, because other SMGs are just better. That's the guy, he's fisting me, so we're going to kill him. Oh my god, he actually fisted someone else. Man is the fister. That's all he's Schindler's freaking fist. And oh, buddy, that is my freaking tether. I forgot I was on that. I thought it was Spectral. I know I'm kind of doing well with the weapon, but it's mainly because I'm getting carried by, of course, the Hunter sort of shenanigans. Gotta get going now. Oh, buddy, you actually repeat. But I'm gonna get carried a little bit by, of course, going invis constant and everything. But that's the whole point of this weapon, is that it does have that classic contender, which just goes in really, really well, especially with, of course, the RDMs. It goes in really, really well together in constant basically to get your dodge going, which, as I said, it's just gonna be so nice in like trials and whatnot. So for that, it could be worth it, but as I said, it just needed more god rolls. If this had more PvP god rolls, I would definitely be saying to try to get rolls for PvP. But this is the PvE weapon now. That's all this freaking is. Now there is people everywhere. Give me this guy over here. And, oh, I didn't realize I had no ammo. Oh, hip fire, radiance. Thank you. We're gonna go invis though and sneak up in the muchachos down here because I'm a hunter main at heart now, and I'm just one of these guys who does this crap, and there's nothing you can do about it. I'm getting shot in the ass. Oh, give me the kills. Oh, get me out. And there was a guy up my ass as well. There's the Hersey roll, but as I said, the title, it is a dope weapon. I think it will be useful in PvP, as I said, in the right build to get your energies and stuff back, but for the most part, I think that because the rolls aren't exactly good PvP, like there's just not really any god rolls, apart from like a rangefinder or whatnot. I just don't think you're really gonna see this too often. Like you're not gonna use it that often. Alrighty, time for the PvE side of things, of course, with their little title look good. And this is where it's gonna be a lot, I'd say, cleaner, especially with the role I do have. This is gonna be demoralized with, of course, the recycled energy that I showcase. I have the stabilizing on this as well if I really want to, but obviously with Falcon Hunter, I can basically get the stabilizing going consistently. You can see I got the volatile rounds just for going invis, so that's why I'm using the Demoralize, because the Demoralize with this build is honestly just absolutely cracked. And that's why I was saying that, especially with the mods this season, with, of course, the Malign's Harvest, the Void Flux and everything, there is so many reasons I would be saying to try to get some rolls off this, because it will be absolutely freaking cracked out its mind. Of course, against the big boy like this, it's going to be a little bit harder to kind of get it going, but you can see you still get the invis and everything going. And I think that, honestly, PvE, this is actually a masterclass of weapon. But he blew up a bomb, we weren't ready! Bro, he killed us all! Let me in! But yeah, with the Grafalcons and everything, you can get the stabilizer rounds kind of going, or the volatile marksman. You don't have to use Grafalcons. There's a ton of ways to get volatile kind of going. So that's why I will say right now the title in PvE is actually just absolutely freaking nutty. I know there is other SMG or freaking weapons in the game, void weapons like I use the Ross Argo a bunch. There is tons of other void weapons you can really go in with, but I will say that this SMG absolutely clamps out. I don't know if I'm going to ruin or not. Oh, I do think, though, it really does blend really well into, of course, the all Hunter scenario. I think Hunter's just whatever does anything when it comes to void debuff, or just debuffs in general, it absolutely cracks out. But it will still do absolute work in a Titan build. If you want to go Titan, of course, buddy, can you stop freaking linking your soul to me? But if you want to go, of course, Titan with the all Arc Bolt and everything, this will still work a treat with it. It's just, obviously, it won't be as high as damage if people are going to use Monarch and everything like that. So I do understand why that will happen, but I still do think overall that this weapon is just, it's so sweet for the LPVE scenario. I think that's where it really does shine. Get any sort of debuff going and you start to absolutely rail there. Even just getting the stabilizing going with Demoralize, it's honestly kind of freaking nuts. I mean, the Void Flux with Demoralize is just absolute freaking nasty combo. Yo, can I get this Demoralize going? I just want to get everyone weakened. There we go. There's the invis. There's Volatile. That's kind of what I was trying to get going. That's how you can kind of get the whole your whole build really going with this. It is really, really dope. Obviously, Volatile is just, as I said, so much easier to get going nowadays. So I would definitely say Demoralize is a really solid role to kind of get into it as well. But I think overall that the title is just, it's definitely a PvE weapon now. It kind of already was back in the day anyway, but right now with the rolls, especially with, as I said, all the void sort of artifacts and everything, you've got to be going for the old PvE rolls, because yeah, PvP was kind of just like average. But I think this just like, it's one of my favorite SMGs to use. I know you still, as I said, I do like the funnel web actually. Funnel web's still pretty dope. There is a ton of other void weapons in the game right now, but I still do think that if you get the right role with like the Demoralize and obviously with the mods season, you can't just, it's just happening. Oh, it's so glorious. Buddy, there's another one. Oh, got his ass. Don't worry, boys. Got them. I don't know why. I should have tether on. I'm trying. I'm not gonna lie. Obviously, against the boss and everything, it doesn't do that much damage. That's one of the things I will say about the 720s in the LPVE scenarios, that at least with the 900 RPMs and everything, when you're railing things, you do actually spam the shots really quickly and you can kill things really quickly. The 720s, I think their RPM is just a little bit too slow compared to some of the other weapons. Even though it still can't rail and everything, it's just a little bit slower than maybe like multi-max and whatnot. So I understand why people go with those ones instead. But as I said, I still do think that this title absolutely claps the PvE. Well, guys, we are making some decent progress. I'm not gonna lie, we're doing work. We get this volatile going us for hitting a bunch of headshots. Man, the mods this season actually do really, the artifacts, they actually do make such a big difference to how well the freaking void weapon perform. Like, I'm not gonna sit here saying you're gonna be using this next season. Oh my god, freaking, why are they going for me? I'm not even shooting at the guys. But I'm not even saying that this is gonna be like the god tier weapon next season, because realistically, it is kind of somewhat getting carried by mods and everything. But I still do think that it's always worth getting rolls like this, because like what happened was, before obviously Guardian Games came around, people were actually looking for a good title roll, because all these mods were absolutely cracked out. And when there was SMG mods, oh my god, don't blow me up. But when there's SMG mods and everything as well, like barrier and whatnot, You want to have these weapons, and this is FOMO intensive. Like this weapon, oh my god, he actually sliced me. But this weapon, once you get the Guardian Games ends, you will not get this. You'll not be able to get this again until the next Guardian Games. So that is why a lot of people definitely would want to farm out for this instead in PvE with the repulsor, especially. I mean, I'd be surviving so much more without a repulsor. I've got, of course, the recycled energy or whatever it is, so I keep getting freaking energy gains every time I get a kill. But if I had the repulsor breaks on this with demoralized, I'm telling you right now, I would be slaying so much more, and that's the beauty of it. Just get that god roll. I think the tile is just a beast. But yeah, as I said, right build, right freaking what's it called, roll, it's just always going to be freaking work. There is a little bit of competition. Oh my god, I got freaking blasted. There is a little bit of competition when it comes to, of course, void weapons and everything like that. Some void weapons are obviously just absolutely freaking cracked out of their mind. But I still do think that you should definitely try and look at getting yourself some rolls. You're probably going to be doing the event regardless, because obviously oh, I thought it was immune or something. But you're probably going to be doing, of course, supremacy games regardless and everything. And oh, we actually finished the cap with 20 seconds to go. But you're going to do the Guardian Games sort of stuff regardless. So I definitely just say, whilst you're doing it, keep an eye out for any of these title rolls, because it absolutely cops out PvE. It's an absolute freaking beast. Well, that is it for me. And of course, the title SMG itself. As I said, this weapon is just an absolute beast PvE. This is the role I had for it in terms of I had demoralized, or could have picked stabilizing rounds as well. The stabilizing, of course, is great, especially if you're not on, of course, the Void Hunter or whatever, where it's a lot easier to kind of get it, or Falcons. But as I said, with, of course, the mods this season anyway, with like the Volatile Marksman, which you can kind of get going. I didn't even have the extra part of it on, but Volatile Marksman, you don't really need to have the stabilizing as much. Especially with a Falcon Hunter, not really at all, but it means that you can use things like Demoralize, which just gets you that weakening kind of pulse and everything whenever you get precision final blows. And then with Prismatic, it makes me go invis when I kill the debuffed enemy. It's a really, of course, nice combo, but you could use this with the Titans. As I said, go Titan with Arc Bolt, sit behind a barricade, constant proc the volatile rounds, get the pulse, the weakening pulse going. It's honestly, it's just cracked this season, this weapon. As I said, it's just got some really nice rolls. And of course, throw on Repulsor Brace if you want to constantly get your overcharged shields and everything. I had recycled energy, which isn't too bad, especially when you kind of tie it into classic contenders. So final blows, the weapon grants cross ability energy. It actually does have Hake Breach as well, but I mean, classy is always going to be the one you want to go for. But that's what I'm saying. With the classic contender perk, Origin trait, it is actually really nice with like a Hunter and a Titan, because you can constantly dodge, you can constantly proc the barricade for Arc Bolt. Now is your chance, guys. Now is the chance to try and get yourself some god rolls. So yeah, do of course Guardian Supremacy or the Boss Rush and everything, you get yourself some rolls. And I will say, it's 100% worth the PvE. PvP, it was kind of ass, but PvE, this thing's honestly an absolute freaking menace right now. With a good roll, it's just absolutely insane. But regardless, if you liked the video, just like, and you want some more content, subscribe, fantastic day, and hopefully I'll see you in the next collective in the next one.